Hello, this is Jonathan Munoz, and today we're going to talk, is there money in pathology or pediatrics? And why we're talking about this is hopefully to help you make a decision or understand better whether you get in if you go into pediatrics or pathology. Why these two? Because whereas these two options are attainable for IMGs that need a visa and very easy to obtain, the problem is that many don't understand really what is behind pediatrics and behind pathology. And it may be different than in your country. So this topic is only for the ones who want to know more about the finances part of medicine. If you are doing medicine mainly because you love medicine, because you love kids, because you're passionate about pathology, then go for them. Don't care about what I'm about to say about the financial part of getting or completing this training. So, what is the salary for a pediatrician? So pediatricians can do hospitalist work, being a pediatric hospitalist, meaning that they stay in the hospital all day and they don't have outpatient practice. They can be also outpatient pediatric doctors only, meaning that they have to set an office within a group or privately and see patients there. Or they can be a hybrid. Same idea of internal medicine and family practice doctors at the end of residency. You have those three options. Now, the difference is that the average salary for pediatricians is, $120,000 a year, 140, but very difficult to make more than that on one salary, meaning that on one salary on one job only. So let's say you are part of a group at the end of residency as a pediatrician, your salary will be 120, 130, 140. Let's say you do inpatient hospitalist pediatrics, your salary will be on that range too. It's no more than 180 in some states maybe, but no more than 180. Whereas family practice and internal medicine have already surpassed those limits. So, very little, right? And then if you say, oh, I don't want to work for a group. I want to work on my own. I want to set my own practice. For that, you need money. And it's not that much. You need probably like 50,000, 100,000 and start seeing patients. But the problem is that the pediatric population nowadays don't pay much. What they need is not something that pays much to a private pediatrician. So the insurance will pay per patient will pay $30, $40. So you will have to see 30, 40, 50 patients a day to be paid something significant, and that comes with a lot of documentation, a lot of charts to write every day. And I don't think you know what it means to write a chart to the full extent that meets criteria for that chart to be paid by the insurance provider. So it can get very cumbersome. It can be very frustrating for a doctor to say, I have to do all this documentation to be paid. But it's the truth, it's what is going on. And the other option is you can work inpatient and outpatient pediatrics. Still very little pay. Now, pediatric work, let's say you do inpatient pediatric care. They only worked 12, 13 shifts a month. So that's kind of nice because you could get the other 15, 17 days of the month off, but you don't have money. But on those days off, you can do something else. Unfortunately, if you do something within the pediatric realm, still not much coming your way. So um, really, pediatrics is very limited. Even if you go for an specialization in pediatrics, the amount of money that you will get is not much more different than staying on general pediatrics. And you can ask your friends, you can ask people that how surprised they are after finishing intensive care pediatric or the non-surgical or endocrinology for pediatrics. The amount that they are making is not really significant to say, oh, it's worth it to go 5 more years of residency to get to that subspecialty spot. And then let's talk about pathology. Pathology, I think pathology is great. They have their own little offices in each hospital. You just sit on a little room on your own with your computer, with your microscope, get your slides and start checking on them, doing your reports. No one talks to you, no one bothers you. From time to time, a doctor from outside will come and talk to you and say, hey, what did you see on this slide? And talk to you for a minute, but that doesn't happen very often. They usually wait for your report. The hours are 8 to 5. They do have on call. They do have to be on call, for example, for a surgery that happens in the middle of the night, and then it happens to be a tumor, and they need a fast read to understand if the edges of this mass have been properly cleared or not. So it comes with a little call, not very troublesome, and the life seems very quiet, very calm. There's not much interaction with the students for them unless you are in an academic center. So pathology, the only problem is that again, it also pays very low. So I think that what I heard so far for a pathologist, what they make in a hospital is 180,000, 170,000 on a W2. Pathology is not one of those specialties that you could really do it on your own as an independent contractor form, but usually on a W2, which means that there's two ways to be paid in the United States. One is an independent contractor, and the other one is a W2. The W2 is when you belong to a medical group, when you are considered an employee, and they take the taxes out of your checks before they give you your money, and you still have to pay a little more of taxes on that. And a 1099 pay is considered independent contractor when you don't get the same benefits as an employee, like health or insurances. You pay for your own, but you also get all your money without being touched, without having your taxes taken. So you are responsible to do your own taxes, and you are very financial savvy, then you could have a good amount of money left after paying your taxes and doing what is proper with that money. You have a good amount of money left. So you cannot do that with pathology. You have to belong to a group, or at least I haven't heard of a pathologist saying, "Oh, I'm an independent contractor. I get on 1099s." So they work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. I haven't heard that they have a good lifestyle. So for me, those two specialties, if we're talking purely about is it worth it to go into pediatrics or pathology, to me it's a big no. And it becomes important, guys, because if you're going to start, if you're thinking that at the end of residency you're going to stay in the United States, which is probably what most of us will do, it matters, because depending where you live, and I don't think no one wants to live in I don't know, the hills of Alaska or the desert of Arizona, then it becomes important because let's say you get I don't know, $180,000 a year. $180,000 a year, your paycheck post taxes becomes each paycheck of about $4,000 to $5,000. So about $10,000 a month. Now you take, for example, for Los Angeles, the rent is for a 2-bedroom apartment $3,000. Then food is another, let's say $1,000. Then your car $500. So then you already have $4,500, almost $5,000 on living expenses, and then you're left with $5,000. Let's say you're a pediatric doctor in Los Angeles and you get 100. Let's be generous. You get 150,000. Imagine your paychecks a month are gonna be 4,000 each. So 2 paychecks of 4,000. So 8,000 minus 5,000, you get left with 3,000. And why is that important? Because you don't want to rent a house forever. You want to buy a house at some point. How are you gonna buy a house if you're saving $3,000 a month and you need a down payment of, in Los Angeles, a house costs, a good house, I don't know, 1 million, 1.2 million. You need at least $100,000 to put down to be able to finance a house. So you're gonna take 3-5 years to save the money for a house. But then you also need money for to save for retirement. Then you also need money to I don't know, live life and go for a nice trip from time to time. Someone gets sick, there's money gone, and so that's why I'm saying that those two options may not bring the finances that you were expecting when going into medicine. But again, if you're doing medicine just for helping others and for the call, then this video doesn't add anything to you. This is just my perspective on the financial part, and especially for these two subspecialties, great specialties. We need them. We learn from them. We rotate with them. We need them. But if you ask me, would you go to medical school to go into these two specialties now that I know how things work? I would say no, and mainly because of the financial part. Because to me, it's something that you should be aware of. All right, thank you.